You know, first of all, I want to send my prayers and condolences to the families of the, in Newtown of this past weekend. Nothing like that should ever happen. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know what the guy was thinking, and apparently one of the reasons for his actions was not just because of what we've heard in the news, but because of something else, something that's been talked about any time a tragedy like this happens, and that's video games. And more importantly, the shooter games. The first-person shooters, the online shooters, stuff like that. It's not a surprise that they're the first to be blamed, and it's hard for me to even say this, but they do have a right to be blamed. You're basically a store. You're basically a store that sells these games, in public for people to buy, and you have the right to do that. You have the right to display the games so people can buy them. But, to me, I think because of what has happened and the fact that the law, people want, in fact, now the government, wants to get stricter on the laws of gun control and everything and stuff like that, and the fact that now games are being blamed again, I think a lot's going to be changing in the next few years. For example, I feel and believe that gun control will get stricter, and you cannot probably get one unless you're really licensed, unless you have a legit reason. And I don't think if they do still sell guns, they're not going to be selling any of those things that we heard that, that guy used over this past weekend. I think it would just be like regular defense guns, if anything, or something like that. But as far as games go, I've got a feeling that games are going to go back to an era, a situation that we've never seen, that we haven't seen in almost 30 years. If you watch James Wolfe's, one of his AVGN reviews from many years ago, which you'll have to go to Blimp TV to watch, basically there was a time that there were certain Atari games that you had to ask the people at the counter at the gaming store, to buy. You had to ask them to go to the back or go under the dresser, to get them for you so you can buy them or look at them. And I think all know what games I'm talking about. Now, what does this have to do with video games being blamed? Well, I feel that eventually, I'm not saying it's going to happen automatically, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen in the next year or so, but I feel that with the stricter gun laws coming into place soon, that there's going to be a law that's going to be passed that's going to have retail stores, whether it's a gaming store like GameStop, whether it's a retail store like Walmart or Target. I've got a feeling, or even Toys R Us, and I've got a feeling that they're going to have to I've got a feeling they're going to end up going back to the ways of the law. There's going to be a law that's going to be put into place that's going to have these games, like, say, the Call of Duties, maybe the StarCrafts, maybe the World of Warcrafts. They're going to probably have those kind of games, whether they're M-rated or not, maybe T to M-rated or not. They're going to have those games have to be put in a secluded area to where the associate, just like they did 30 years ago with certain game titles, where the associate will have to go to the back, get the game, and give it to you. You essentially have to get that game. Essentially, those games won't be on the shelf for you to see anymore. They'll be more like that associate will have to go to the back and get them. And the reason being that there's a possibility that could happen, and I just feel there's going to be, is so that way the younger kids won't see them. The younger kids won't see them. They'll just see the games that are appropriate for them. Now, I know that might be a detraction for a lot of hardcore gamers, people like me that are fans of video games, people that are online gamers like my nephew. But I just feel they're going to be going in that direction. I just feel that's what's going to happen, and if it does, it's probably going to be for the best. Now, I know you're thinking, well, what about the online stuff? What about this and that? Well, I'm pretty sure when it comes to Amazon, comes to Best Buy, Target, Walmart, they're going to find a way to make those stricter as well. They're probably going to have a certain area to where you're going to have to basically answer maybe questions or create a special login thing for who you know, so you can get access to that kind of stuff or whatever. You know, and probably the same will be said for Xbox Live in the arcade section. The same with PS2 and the Wii and the Wii U. What I'm saying is that if you think we're going to end up getting stricter gun laws, is going to be the end of it. It's going to be the, well, not the, it's going to be the end of it, or going to be the only thing, I should say. It's going to be the only thing that gets stricted. Law, it's going to be given a stricter law, then you're wrong. Because if video games like StarCraft, the COD series and stuff like that are getting the blame, those two are going to end up getting stricter laws as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we end up going back to an era that we had 30 years ago where those kind of games are going to be in a certain secluded area to where the associate has to go get them and bring them to you just so you can buy them or look at them or even rent them. So that's what I feel is going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen to this whole video game situation. So, especially for the M-rated first-person shooters and stuff. Now, if you don't agree with me, go ahead and let me know what you think could happen. But comment down below. And that's all I'm going to say. And again, my prayers and condolences go out to the families. And God bless and take care of you all. And thank you all for watching.